One thing you have to understand as you get older is there will come a time when something that you once loved ends up deeply disappointing you. Today is one of those days. Scream is probably my favorite horror franchise. I saw the first one when I was maybe 12 years old, but I didn't see the rest until I was in college. I watched them all back to back on a marathon to prepare for Scream 5, which I saw with a bunch of my friends and I had a really great time with. I saw Scream 6 shortly after it debuted on streaming. I missed it in theaters, and I wanted to make sure I saw Scream 7 in theaters. And I did. I saw it on its opening weekend because I was really worried about being spoiled for this film. You don't know the Scream franchise, well, a horror slasher, every single one is a murder mystery. The villain is Ghostface, and it is always someone that the characters know, and they have a motive that relates to them somehow. Scream 7 is no different in that regard. The mystery here is unfortunately pathetic. It's bad. And Scream hasn't had a perfect mystery in all of its films. I would say the first one, absolutely fantastic. One of the best reveals in cinema history. The second one works thematically, but you have to really suspend your disbelief for a certain element of it. The third one, borderline terrible, borderline garbage. Not as bad as this, but pretty freaking bad. The fourth one, actually my personal favorite, brilliant reveal. I actually like that one more than the first one, which might be partly because I had the first one spoiled for me by my dad, who I called mid-movie for some reason, and he said something that wasn't a direct spoiler, but it was clear enough that I ended up figuring out what he meant before the movie ended. The fifth film I liked a lot. It's a bit of a retread, but I really liked what they did, and it worked thematically for the film. The sixth one, you again have to suspend your disbelief a little bit, but it was different and it's a fun time, and I liked what they did ultimately. The seventh one, you don't just have to suspend your disbelief for, you kind of have to say, I am a brain dead moron idiot who will take anything that's fucking presented to me. If you give me a spoonful of shit, I'm gonna put it in my mouth and start slurping on it. Is kind of what you have to do to take in Scream 7's reveal. So needless to say, I was not a fan of that. Now I will say this is not necessarily a bad movie. If you're coming for the slasher elements, I think they're really well done here. There's some awesome kills, there's some brutal kills, there's some cool, little set pieces and designs and whatnot. The movie is certainly not boring. It's not boring or anything. Usually for me to give a film like a 2 or less, I have to, have a really bad time with it. This film's a fun time. But the core of what you're coming to Scream for, what the movie hinges on, is the reveal. And the reveal for this is fucking dog shit. Now, I will say this story opens with something a little bit differently. They present the idea that a legacy character from the series is possibly still alive. All of the Scream movies have an ongoing plot with recurring characters, so I would recommend watching them in order if you've never seen them, because that actually does add a lot and the characters grow, and it's cool to see that because you don't see that in a lot of slashers, at least not outside maybe one or two main characters. And there's this idea that this character may or may not be alive, they may or may not be AI. AI is a very big plot point for this film. I like that. That's an interesting idea because it's a current thing, it's a present day that's ripe for commentary, and it applies to film as well. AI is having huge effects on the film industry, regardless of how you feel about it, it's definitely having impacts. The Scream franchise has always acted as kind of a meta commentary on the state of movies, specifically horror movies, so this seemed like a great idea. The problem is what this film has to say about AI is nothing. Literally nothing. Nothing at all. Now, I have a lot of opinions on that subject. I've gotten some heat for it because there's some instances which I'm actually positive on and the internet is very negative on. And, I've had people tell me to kill myself and whatnot. And I don't care about any of that. I don't judge a movie for presenting a compelling viewpoint that I strongly disagree with. I would love for this movie to disagree with me. I would love for this movie to agree with me. I'd love for this movie to have any opinion at all. I just wish it said fucking anything with it. But it doesn't. It doesn't have a point of view. It doesn't have anything to say. That mechanic is just there to act as a mechanic. And it's not even used very interestingly. It's pathetic. This film had a lot of drama going into it. 5 acted as a sort of reboot for the franchise. 6 followed up on that, and we thought we were going to get a kind of trilogy with our new cast. They fired an actress solely because she made comments on the Israel-Palestine situation. These weren't even offensive comments. Even if you disagree with her, they were fairly milk toast. And for some reason, they decided to throw her out and say she can't be in the movie. Jenna Ortega also left. This may or may not be related to that. She said it's because of conflicting schedules. So our 2 main characters from 5 and 6 are just gone. They don't show up. There's not much of an explanation here. Their 2 buddies appear, but their characters just feel weird and different. I don't know. It's not the same without them. And they brought our big player back, Sidney Prescott, kind of the protagonist of really the first 5 films. She's absent in 6, but still mentioned. I don't know. I'm not against her being brought back. I like that Scream has had a consistent protagonist throughout its run, but her character arc has completed multiple times here, right? We know that she's going to get a happy ending. Scream is not going to throw away that. When all of the stakes resolve around threatening her kid or family, it's just kind of like, why are we doing this? Even if you do this, it doesn't feel right for the character. So it kind of deflates it and it makes the other stuff worse. On its own, I actually do like about 80% of this film, even if it's a bit generic. As terms of what it means for the Scream franchise, I'm disappointed. I was hoping this could maybe be a great big finale that would tie everything together. This isn't that. It makes it feel like this shit's running on fumes and not running well. And if they're going to continue it, they got to do something different because Scream, for what it is in the modern day, is pretty much dead after this. 5 and 6 had legs. If we're going to continue to put out schlock like this, I don't want the franchise to continue. And I'm not saying this kind of story can't work. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is an excellent kind of Scream-like film that is all about Gen Z, and that works really well for what it is. It actually uses the new era. It actually has things to say, and it actually has, a satisfying conclusion. Scream 7, while not boring, not necessarily a bad film, does not live up to the standards of the Scream franchise. This is similar to Scream 3 maybe, but I would put it below it. I think this is the worst in the Scream franchise. I am sad because I was actually excited for this and every update just kept making it worse. I gave Scream 7 a 3 out of 6. I actually think you'll like this more if you're not a Scream fan. And those are my thoughts.
3 out of 6.